Comment est-il possible qu'à 4 reprises bien distinctes, le même jour, une infrastructure militaire et d'information de plusieurs milliards de dollars soit mise en échec?
And on the day itself, which I think is the most significant evidence, the first plane hit at 8:46 a.m., the Southern Tower at about 9:05 a.m., the third plane hit the Pentagon at 9:38 a.m. They knew there was a hijack between 8:10 and 8:20 in the morning, let's say 8:15, so they knew half an hour before the first plane, 3/4 of an hour before the second plane, and an hour and a half before the third plane hit their targets. And not once in that time did they scramble a warplane to intercept. Now that is just staggering. When first of all they had Andrews Air Base, which is 10 miles west of Washington, with F-16s with a top speed of 1,500 miles an hour, they could have been over the scene within a minute or two.
Pour résumer, le matin du 11 septembre, les États-Unis effectuent des exercices au cours desquels des avions détournés seront en dehors et à portée des radars, des chasseurs seront envoyés au-delà du territoire US et des avions s'écraseront contre des bâtiments. Quelle coïncidence! Question. Pourquoi des affiches réclamant la capture de Ben Laden ne font-elles pas référence au 11 septembre? Réponse de Rex Tomb, en charge des relations publiques du FBI.
Le 11 septembre n'est pas mentionné sur les affiches où il apparaît parce que le FBI n'a pas de preuves solides menant à l'implication de Ben Laden dans les attentats du 11 septembre. Je ne pouvais pas croire ce que je venais d'entendre, je l'ai donc répété et on m'a répondu « Oui, c'est vrai, le FBI n'a pas de preuves solides de l'implication de Ben Laden dans ces attentats. »
4 juillet 2001. Oussama Ben Laden, recherché par les États-Unis depuis 1998, est soigné à l'hôpital américain de Dubaï, où il reçoit la visite du chef d'antenne locale de la CIA.
Un mois après l'arrivée d'Obama au pouvoir, il a blanchi toute une série de responsables, notamment saoudiens, qui figuraient dans la plainte des familles des victimes.
Pourquoi, selon vous, ces questions n'ont-elles pas trouvé de réponse honnête ces 8 dernières années?
It's now being documented beyond a doubt based on historical records that the CIA, the MI6, teamed up with very, very secretive parallel elements of European intelligence services and orchestrated terrorist attacks to mobilize the public against the left, against the communists, and so on and so forth. And this would be really shocking to people if they knew that this is what happened. And this is what happened. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the best book on it is Daniel Ganser's book, NATO's Secret Armies. But this is serious academic stuff.
The people in the United States have invested trillions of dollars in a military and an intelligence infrastructure, and it failed 4 times on one day. That is the question that needs to be answered. Why? But we've got the Patriot Act, we've got the Secret Evidence Act, we've got the Military Commissions Act, we've got people who are being railroaded into prison simply because of their political beliefs.
It has enabled the passage of Patriot Act 1 and 2. Established the Department of Homeland Security, facilitated the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, and used to pass the Military Commissions Act, which officially ended habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus in Latin means you have the body. It's a provision in the law where no one can just scoop up someone, put them in a black hole, and keep them there without that person having the right to appeal to a court and say, you have the body, now what do you charge this person with, and what redress does he or she have?
Now, what happened after 9/11? Well, of course, the U.S. invaded Afghanistan and used that occasion to build military bases throughout the region of Central Asia, which is the new oil production region. Lots of new oil discoveries there in, coincidentally, 2000 to 2001. And then to invade Iraq, one can't help but see a pattern here.
From 1776 to 2000, 42 presidents borrowed a total of $1.01 trillion from foreign governments and institutions. From 2001 to 2005, the Bush administration alone borrowed $1.05 trillion.
Well, unfortunately, we have experience with these government investigations, and that experience comes from the investigation from the murder of John Kennedy to the murder of Martin King to the 9/11 commission report. I mean, we have this history of government investigations, and we just don't tend to get the full truth. And that's why it's important that we release the government papers pertaining to these investigations and various surveillances that were going on at the time. That was legislation that I offered.
So whereas people used to be able to ridicule the movement as a bunch of kids on the internet, a bunch of people who knew nothing about the real world, now we have these organizations of physicists and chemists, firefighters, architects and engineers, has over 600 licensed architects and engineers who've signed a petition calling for a new investigation. We have lawyers for 9/11 Truth, some of the leading first-rate lawyers in the country and in the world. We have political leaders for 9/11 Truth, with both former and even present members of parliament in several Western countries. And religious leaders for 9/11 Truth, medical professionals for 9/11 Truth. So we have about 10 of these organizations of scientists and other professionals. So we need to lift that up and let people see the 9/11 movement is completely different than the image they've been given of it.